everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Lilia. If you're new to my channel, please make sure to subscribe so you're in the know of any tasty videos. And if you're not new, well, welcome back again and thank you for your support. So for today we're making some corn tortillas. They're very simple to make and it's good to have for when you're making homemade tacos or you want some thick tortillas for chicken soup. It's great. Store-bought are good too, but there's nothing like homemade. So first thing is first, I've got 2 cups of flour. I'm going to be adding all-purpose flour to it. So I've got half a cup of all-purpose flour. And the reason why I like the mixture of both is because it makes more of a smoother dough versus if it was just corn. Just gonna get that all mixed up very well. And I've got warm water here, so I boiled some water and mixed it in with cold water. So it should be comfortable to the touch. So now that this is all in, we add our salt. You mix that as well. All right, so this should be good enough. What I'd like to do is start out with, I've got 2.5 cups of this water. I'm going to be putting in part of it and then slowly work it in. You don't want your dough to be too runny, but then you also don't want it to be too tough. You work your dough for a good 5 minutes. You want to get any of the lumps that are in the dough. So that's why we keep mixing this. So now we're going to let it rest with a damp cloth over it. We'll let it rest for about 5 minutes and then we'll get started. In the meantime, go ahead and preheat your stove on medium-high. You want it to be pretty hot when the tortilla goes in. So now we're going to start forming our patties into the tortillas. So what I've got here is a large Ziploc baggie that I just cut both sides, on one side and then the bottom. There's tools out there, there's tortilla makers that are just as easy to use, but I don't make tortillas on a daily basis, so I don't want an extra gadget, and this works just as fine. So what I use is a cutting board or anything that is flat, just to flatten this out. So we're gonna start off making the tortillas. So I use about enough to kind of cover my hand. And you can make them as thick or thin as you want. I kind of like my tortillas to be slightly thicker. I don't like them so thin like the store-bought ones. So I do this. Kind of flatten it out a little bit. Use this Ziploc baggie. Kind of pat it down a little bit. Make sure it's all even so you don't have a thinner side and then a thicker side. And what I do is with my flat cutting board, so I put it down and I put pressure. So you can see my tortilla is pretty flat, but I still want it a little thinner than this. This is still a little too thick for me. It's starting to become thinner. You notice it's all even, it's the same. So it really helps out if you smash the ball a little bit, make sure it's even, and then they come out thinner. Now I have it as flat as I like it. And you slowly want to peel one side off. And now I've got my stove on medium-high. Just want to check the temperature. You want it to be, if your stove range says 1 to 10, you want it closer to a 7. Just going to get it a little bit more hot and then we'll add our tortilla. In the beginning stage, I like to add just a tiny bit of olive oil, not much, maybe just like a fourth of a teaspoon of oil. And then we'll add our tortillas, and that's it. You only do it the initial time, you don't do that for the rest. So now we're going to peel this tortilla, and you have to be very careful with this. So what I do is put my hand on one side and then slowly start peeling this tortilla. And if it tears a little bit, it's okay. You can always restart or just make them again, but this looks pretty good. There we go. Now we're going to set it on our stove. So there we go. We're going to wait until this starts losing some color, and then I'll show you what it looks like. All right, and it's starting to dry up, so that also lets you know that this is ready to turn. Another trick to knowing if it's ready, you just kind of see right now, it's kind of stuck. As it starts heating up, it'll be easier to move. And as far as the coloring, I like mine to have a lot of these brown spots. If you don't like it, just don't cook it as much. And that is it pretty much, guys. And my tortillas are ready to enjoy in either cochinita pibil or quesadillas, or really just alone with any meal. So I'm going to be making a cochinita pibil recipe right after this if you want to stay tuned and check that out. And please make sure to follow me on social media, which is down in the description box below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.